Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Greg and this video is going to be full of all of my best tips and practices when working with acrylics. This is one of my number one questions is how to work with acrylics, and I'm going to answer all of that in this video. I'm going to start out with clear acrylic before moving on to different colors and translucents, because what we learn from clear acrylic is going to be applied to all of those other materials. With that, I'm going to start by getting some clear acrylic set up in the machine, and let's get started cutting and engraving. The first thing we want to know when working with acrylics is we always want to use cast acrylic. The other type is extruded. It's cheaper and it just really doesn't work all that well. With this first tip out of the way, let's check out the setup that I have on this piece of scrap clear acrylic. We're gonna see that I've got standoffs on each of the four corners, and that's because we're gonna be doing some cutting, and when that laser passes through the material and strikes the honeycomb, I will get some flash or bounce back, and it is going to strike the bottom side of the acrylic, marking it. These standoffs are a great way to avoid that problem. I've got these magnets, but any scrap material works perfectly. To hold everything in place, I have two pieces of some blue painter's tape. Next, let's head over to the computer and check out the settings I'll be using for cutting and engraving this 1/8 inch clear acrylic. Today I'm going to be using Lightburn software. If you want to check out the version number, that is up here in the corner of the screen. This is a simple little project I drew up for this video, a red cutout border and engraving the laser channel. Let's check out the settings. For engraving, I've got a speed of 300 millimeters per second and a min-max power of 20% and lines per inch at 300. And to speed things up, I'm going to fill or engrave all shapes at once. Moving on to the cut layer, a speed of 15 millimeters per second, min-max powers of 40%. Making sure I've got perforation mode turned off. On my example cutout, I want to have the front surface nice and smooth, and I want the engraving to be on the back, so I'm going to have to mirror my engraving. I'll simply select it and hit the mirror function, and that way, now when I flip the piece over, I'll be able to read it correctly and have the smooth side facing me. Before I hit the start button, I've got a couple important tips before we start cutting and engraving this clear 1/8 inch acrylic. Two quick tips before I hit the start button. The first tip is actually going to be about you, specifically your safety. Anytime when we're cutting or engraving acrylics, it's really important to exhaust all of those fumes out of the work area. Those fumes are very toxic, and it's my understanding that if you can smell or detect any of the acrylic fumes in your work area, that's too much. The second tip is the setup for the air assist kit. I always reduce the airflow down to just a whisper for both in cutting and engraving. This way I get the best results. So this looks pretty good. I've got the reverse image on the back side, so when I flip it over, we can now read it the correct way. I'm going to flip it back over and we're going to check out the engraving dust on the back. There originally was a lot more, but I stumbled on my words and had to do a couple retakes, so it's been slowly getting cleaner and cleaner. And speaking of cleaning, resist the urge to take denatured alcohol to clean up that acrylic dust, because that can lead to cracking down the road. Instead, what I'm going to do is go inside the house and wash this off with some warm soapy water very gently to make sure that none of this engraving dust scratches the back surface. I'll be back in just a second. A few minutes later, and this piece is all washed up, looking a lot better. I've got a notebook behind it so that we can see this quite a bit better. I was able to get this washed up without scratching the back surface. However, those of us with the keen eye will see around some of the letters I've got this shadowing or ghosting, and that is because during the engraving process, that hot acrylic dust refused back onto the surface of the acrylic, and It's really, really hard to get off without scratching the material. And many of you are going to go, why did you peel the paper off? That's why the paper is on there. And my experience with leaving the paper on the acrylic is some papers will actually press into the acrylic engraving, wrecking the project piece. The other thing is when I go to do a cutout on the back side of the acrylic, I'll get the paper will actually burn and scorch the acrylic. Not too big of a deal when I'm working with black, but when I'm working on clear acrylics, I can definitely see that black scorch line on the back cut side. So my practice is, because I work with so many different brands of acrylics, is I always just peel the paper off. Well, that begs the question now, how do we get rid of the ghosting that is around all these letters? And I've got a solution for that, and that is going to be some dish soap. I'm going to put a couple drops onto the acrylic, and I'm going to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. I'm actually going to do it over here. Maybe I can move the camera just a little bit. There we go. I'll put some dish soap down on the surface and then take my finger and make sure I have a very nice, smooth, thin layer. And that layer of dish soap is going to intercept any of this acrylic dust that's going to try and wreck our project. When I'm using this dish soap method, the soap can still be wet on the surface, or it can also be dry. It works either way because we'll be, of course, washing it off once the engraving is complete. Just a couple little drops or a little drizzle. I get around to the other side here and get my good finger on this, and I just want to put a nice smooth layer. If I start feeling my finger sticking to the workpiece, I'll just add a little bit more of the dish soap, making sure that I don't go too fast because I don't want any air bubbles getting onto the work surface. That looks good. I know on the camera you can't see it, but trust me, I've got a little bit of dish soap on that surface. I'll get this set up and we'll rerun the same project. Can you tell which one I use the dish soap with? Of course you can. It's the one that's nice and clean. Engraving and cutting the clear acrylic turned out perfect. Next, let's shake it up a little bit and use some translucent yellow acrylic, same thickness at about 1/8 of an inch. Using this yellow acrylic is going to be a great review. I'm using cast acrylic, and because I'm cutting, I've got standoffs in all the corners, and to keep my work material from shifting around, I have 2 pieces of blue painter's tape in opposite corners, and because I am engraving, I have some of that Dawn dish soap, or I guess any brand works, but I've got dish soap up in my engraving area. Focus has been set, and I'll hit the start button and we'll check out this cool engraving on yellow translucent acrylic. I love the way that the thank you pops out on this translucent yellow. This thank you is a thank you to all you viewers who watch and support the Laser Channel. And for those of you who prefer to leave the paper on, you're certainly welcome to do that. Just remember, you've got to go back and weed out all those little bits and pieces of paper that are by all the letters. And if there's 100 of these that you've got to do, that's a lot of weeding. For me, personally, I'd rather just wash some dish soap off. That's my go-to method, regardless of the color of the material or the thickness. And so far, we've been working with the ever popular 1/8 inch material. Next up, I'm going to be using some 1/2 inch clear acrylic to show you some of my tips and practices when cutting through difficult, thick materials. The first part of the material setup is just the same as before. I'm using some standoffs off the honeycomb and some tape to hold my material securely in place. And now the differences are going to start. With the thin material, I set the laser focus to the top surface of the material, but with this thicker material, I'm going to set the focus into the material to help with the cutting action. How far I set the focus into the material is going to depend on the thickness of the material, the strength or the power level of the laser and the focus lens that I have in. If I've got some thinner material, I don't need to focus into the work material that much, but as I go thicker, I'll want to start setting my focus deeper and deeper into the material. My machine is using a 2-inch focus lens, and this is the most common focus lens found on today's laser machines. If I'm going to be doing a lot of cutting of thick materials, I switch out the focus lens to a 4-inch focus lens, or even a 3-inch focus lens works really well. I'll throw a diagram up on the screen and show that with a 2-inch focus lens, the laser is going to go into and out of focus very quickly, as compared to a 4-inch has a much longer distance. And the relevance to cutting thicker materials is I have a smaller spot size or more laser energy as I'm cutting through these thicker materials. For today's video, I'm just going to stick with the stock 2-inch focus lens. For this demonstration, I'm doing just a simple line cut just to keep things moving along. Certainly, this method could be used for any type of cutout. And of course, for best practices, I'd want to use that Dawn dish soap on the surface. For now, I'm omitting that just so that we check out the principles of cutting through thick acrylic. I'm going to start out with a line speed of 2 millimeters per second at 65% power. And we'll see if we can cut through this 1/2-inch acrylic in 1 or 2 passes. Let's check that out. So it looks like it almost went all the way through. Yeah, that cut all the way through. It looks like I just had my stop point a little bit too far in. So with a 45-watt CO2 laser focusing into the material a little bit, we're able to easily cut through 1/2-inch clear acrylic. This looks great. I am going to cover some of the things that we might encounter when we're cutting thicker materials. The first one being, I always try and cut in 1 pass if possible, and sometimes I have to use 2 passes. When I do multiple passes, I do end up with a line that is across my work material that I'll have to later remove. The other thing that we might run into is scalloped edges along the cut. This is due to too high of airflow on the air assist. Again, on acrylics, it's going to be the opposite of what wood products would be. Wood products, we turn the airflow up as much as we can get. On acrylics, we want just a whisper of air coming down to get a nice, clean, consistent cut. If I do have scallops or if I do have lines from multiple passes, I'll use a micro torch along the cut edge, or if on a larger, thicker piece, a blowtorch, making sure that I don't overheat or bubble the edge. And it's just as simple as just going along the edge until it comes out to a nice mirrored, smooth edge. It'll help hide any of those little lines or scalloped edges that we see. I do recommend, if you're starting out with an award project out of some thicker material, start with a piece of scrap piece to get your settings and then get the technique down with the micro torch or the blowtorch so that you don't damage the final product. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me in this video. I had a lot of fun sharing my tips and my experience with all of you. If you have your own tip, let me know down below by leaving a comment, and be sure to show this video some love by leaving a like, subscribe, or ring that notification bell. Not only is it a great way to help this channel grow, it's an excellent way to connect video content like this with other great viewers just like yourselves. And until we meet again in the next video, learn, create, and share.